Today, I want to provide a practical summary of the book Explain Pain. In my opinion, one of the most important books for people who suffer from back pain. Hello and welcome to the Back Pain Guide. I'm Duncan, a former sufferer of debilitating back pain, now turned physiotherapist who focuses on the treatment and care of other people, perhaps like yourself, who also suffer from back pain. The advice I give is a mix of my professional expertise and personal experience, and I try to focus on giving information that I wish I had known when I was suffering from back pain. One of the things I like to do on this channel is to provide short and practical summaries of some of the valuable literature out there for sufferers of back pain. Now, in my experience, there is a lot of great advice and literature out there. However, it often feels inaccessible to people who aren't necessarily practitioners in this field. So it often, gets read by people like myself, osteopaths, chiropractors, doctors, but a lot of really valuable information almost gets left on the shelves of the library. And it's my goal to get that information direct to you. Today, I want to provide a practical summary of the incredible book, Explain Pain. Now, this book is by two of the leading lights in pain science in recent years, David Butler and Lorimer. Moseley. And in my opinion, this book is one of the most important texts for people who suffer back pain, particularly people who suffer from persistent or chronic pain. Now, this is quite a comprehensive textbook, and in my opinion, it seems to be pitched to practitioners like myself in order to be able to explain pain science to their patients. So I won't be able to provide a massive, complete summary of the book. However, I've managed to condense what I think is the most valuable information into 10 separate points. Point number one, really important, pain is not a direct measure of tissue damage. And to illustrate this point, I always use the analogy of a paper cut. We've all experienced a paper cut, and particularly, if you get something in it, some vinegar or lime juice when you're cooking, it can hurt like crazy, even though it's just a paper cut. It's not particularly dangerous. There's not a huge amount of tissue damage being done. Compare that with accounts of people who, for example, have been shot or stabbed, but didn't realize it until they looked down and saw that they'd been injured. So here we have two examples of really, really light or almost no tissue damage causing extreme pain, and really, really significant tissue damage causing very little or even no pain. So pain is not a direct measure of tissue damage. Point number two, pain is the brain's protective mechanism. So pain is in fact a crucial protective mechanism evolved by the brain to alert us to potential harm or danger. So when the brain perceives a threat to the body's safety, it generates pain to prompt us to take action. So an obvious example of this is if you touch a hot stove, the intense pain sensation warns you to withdraw your hand quickly, preventing further injuries. So while pain isn't a direct measure of tissue damage, it is indicative of a sensation of threat to the body. Point number three, really important for people who suffer from more chronic or persistent back pain, the pain experience is unique. So pain perception is highly individual and varies greatly person to person. So my pain perception will be very different to yours. This can be influenced by various factors, including genetic makeup, cultural background, past experiences and memory, and even things like personality traits. So two people experiencing the same injury may report vastly different pain intensities or descriptions of the pain based on the uniqueness of their pain experience. Point number four, neuroplasticity. Now, this refers to the brain's ability to reorganize and form new neural connections. And in the context of pain, this means that the brain can change the way it processes pain signals, either making them more intense, more painful, or less intense and less painful. And I often say to patients, the brain can actually learn pain. So the more you experience pain with a certain movement, let's say bending forward, for example, really common with people who suffer from back pain, the more you experience pain with that movement, bending forward, the more the brain is likely to remember that movement as painful. This is why we see people with chronic or persistent back pain who experience pain long after the tissues that were initially damaged have healed. Fortunately, neuroplasticity can work in both ways, and the brain can also unlearn the painful patterns. So there are various ways we can help train the brain to unlearn previously painful patterns and behaviors. Now, understanding this concept is really important for sufferers of back pain because it can empower you to change your pain experience through strategies like mindfulness, cognitive behavioral techniques, and graded exposure. Point number 5, nervous system sensitization. So in chronic pain conditions, the nervous system can become what we call sensitized. This means it has heightened pain responses to stimuli which would not typically be painful. This tends to result from long-term changes in the nervous system due to persistent pain. So in people with sensitized nervous systems, even non-harmful stimuli may trigger intense pain sensations. Number 6, emotions and pain, a really important one to understand in the management of persistent pain. So emotions and pain are interconnected, influencing each other in a bidirectional manner. So pain can influence emotions and emotions can influence pain. So emotional states like anxiety, stress, and depression can amplify perception of pain, making it feel more intense. And conversely, pain can lead to emotional distress. So this can create a feedback loop that contributes to the overall pain experience. On the positive side of emotions and pain, people who can learn to recognize this factor and control some influence on their emotional state can create a positive feedback loop that can decrease the overall pain experience. Number 7, getting a bit more positive now, pain education and empowerment. By becoming educated in pain science, which you're doing right now, you can become empowered to take an active role in managing your pain. Research into this area has shown that by understanding that pain is not solely an indicator of tissue damage, and by further understanding that you have the ability to change your pain experience through various interventions, people can regain a sense of control over their well-being and get a sense of control over their persistent back pain. Point number 8, the biopsychosocial approach. This model acknowledges that pain is not merely a biological or anatomical phenomenon. It is in fact the result of a complex interplay between biological and psychological and social factors. And this comprehensive approach to pain management considers all aspects of an individual's life, including physical health, psychological well-being, and social environment when devising treatment plans. Number 9, we're almost there, graded exposure and movement. And this involves gradually exposing individuals to movements or activities they fear will cause pain. This approach helps to desensitize the nervous system and reduce pain-related fear and avoidance. And we do this all the time in clinic with really successful results. So someone with back pain, we might start with very gentle exercises in the pain-free range of motion, gradually progress to more challenging movements over time, only gradually as that patient's experience and particular pain experience allows. And then finally, point number 10, mindfulness and pain management. This is something I'm becoming much more amenable to as I progress into middle age. Mindfulness practices such as meditation and deep breathing exercises have been shown to be very effective in reducing pain intensity and improving coping skills for chronic pain sufferers. It's believed that mindfulness encourages individuals to be present in the moment without judgment. This helps them better manage their pain and particularly the emotional responses associated with it. So there you have it, the briefest of summaries of the incredible book, Explain Pain. I hope some of that information was useful and you might be able to apply it in your own management of back pain. I hope you found that information useful. Remember, you have the power to take control and move towards a pain-free life. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the Back Pain Guide for future videos and more valuable content. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please leave them in the comments below. I'm here to support and guide you on your road to recovery. Thanks again for watching. Take care of your back, and I'll see you in the next video.